everybody, this is Sherry with CPR, Craft, Pray, Repeat. And I saw on a video, a lady sent Tamika, who has scrapped the world, in one of their swaps. She sent a pocket. Her name, the lady's name is Created to Create, with her die cuts in it. And I thought, oh, that's so cute. And I went to her channel and I couldn't find anywhere where she showed how to make them. And so I will link her channel. Her name is Ida. She's a very talented lady. I will link her channel. But since I couldn't find it, I winged it. And I think I did pretty good. Here are two that I've done and I decorated. These I used from Carol Herlock. She sent me these and this little bow, and I used them to decorate my pouches. But you can use whatever you want to decorate them. And they've got a little snap up here at the top, and then you open it up and here's your little pouch. Now this is just paper. This is designer paper. It's not cardstock. Well, I found that I like cardstock much better. And here's one I made out of cardstock, and I used the digital papers from Imagine That Digi-Stamp, which I'll link in the description below. And here's the snap, and then here's the little pocket. Now this is heavier, and to me it just feels more substantial, but this one is actually a good size. I think I would have made it maybe 1/8 of an inch wider. And money fits in it. Now, because I made it this size, which I was just trying different sizes, the money's just a smidge tight. So maybe 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch, if you'd like that much extra space, would be perfect. And so, like I said, I used digital papers, and I could have printed on both sides if I wanted to, and had double-sided, and you wouldn't have the white that you'd see there. So any size you want. See, here's 3 different sizes. Whatever fits, whatever you're going to stick in it, is what size you'll make it. Now, I will tell you what I did. I love these little roses. Thank you, Carol. and the bow. But those roses are just gorgeous. And you really need to share with me where you get your felt from, because this is awesome felt. Awesome thick felt. And so I'm going to show you how I made mine. Now, please keep in mind, I did a video a few minutes ago on this, and I totally flubbed it. So, I kind of have stuff put together, but I will share with you how I did everything. Okay, this one is 7 inches long. Well, I got something on it. It's 7 inches long by 5 inches wide. Okay? Now, what I do is I fold it up, but I don't fold it completely in half. Let me zoom you in here. I leave a little gap right there. Leave a little bit of the white at the top, okay? That's just kind of like a buffer for the second part so that you don't go all the way through, okay? So this is 5 by 7, and this piece here is 5 by 1.5. Now, I have found with the snap thing that I have, if you go longer than 1.5 inches, it's going to be really hard to work with, and you're going to have to bend your paper. Now, I did this one with Imagine That Digi-Stamp paper, and this was 1 3/4. It went through fine up here, but when I put the snap down here, I had to kind of bend my paper a little bit, which really is minute, and nobody's going to notice it, but you know, it's completely up to you. Just remember that your snap thing, if you have one like mine, only has so much space, okay? And I normally run 2 through at a time on my laminator, which is what I did on this one. But, like I said, I messed up the video. Wrong way. Messed up the video, and I wanted to do it again to show you guys it correctly. And so I'm only going to be running 1 through this time, but normally I run 2 through so that I don't waste the laminate part, okay? So we're 5 by 7 for this piece, and 5 by 1.5 inches for this piece. Alright, I used my corner chomper for the ends here, and I used a 1/4 inch side. Now this one right here has the 1/2 inch side, but I found after doing several that I like the 1/4 inch better, because, well, I'll explain it as I get to that part. But here's what I do. I've already got my laminator over here heating up. I open my laminate pouch as soon as I can get it open. Apparently my fingers aren't sticky enough. And it's this side, I know it is. There we go. Alright, I lay mine in this way. That way, like I said, I can get another one right here. I'm going the wrong way, I'm so sorry. And so that way I can get 2 in. But, you know, I won't let this go to waste. I will use this laminate part for like acetate, because once it's put together, it's hard and it's clear. So, you know, you don't waste it. You can use it for other things. All right. As you can tell, I've been working on these, so I got crap everywhere. Now, here's what I do, and I'm going to tell you. I like to have my flap unattached, so there's just a little tiny gap there. I think y'all can see it. That little tiny gap right there. And what I used to hold my paper together is, I didn't have any regular tape, so I ended up using clear packing tape. But, you know, regular Scotch tape will work, okay? I just think it makes it fold easier, and I am just knocking stuff everywhere. I think it helps it to fold easier, so keep that in mind. I mean, you could try doing this all one piece. And when I first started putting them in, I tried putting them in the pouch without them hooked together. And because my laminator comes in at an angle, sometimes they would slip, which was driving me crazy. So I tried the tape, and I actually think it looks fine. You can't see the tape once it's been laminated. So there's how you put it in. You've got your folded piece, you've got your top, you bring your laminator in. Now this is a 3mm laminating sheet. I'm not sure if you could use a 5mm or if it would be too thick. I don't have any to try. So, you know, if you have them and you want to try them, rock it, man. Go for it. And because this is 3mm, I have had problems with them not sealing on the sides a couple times. So I run mine through twice. But you guys know your own machines, so, you know, you do it however, you know, you need to do it. You know, whatever your machine, however your machine works best. I just find I get a much better seal if I go through twice. And waiting for the rest of it to come out. I guess I could have cut it. That would have saved us some time. And run it back through once more. And then we're going to start rocking these pouches. And I absolutely love these papers from Imagine That Digi-Stamp. Like I said, here's the first one that I did in the video where I flubbed up and ended up not doing the recording right. I love the little, look at the little sloths. Are they not adorable? And then look at this one. Are those just too cute or what? Too cute. And all of these papers are her Imagine That Digi-Stamp's kits or papers. And the one with the green check, this one right here, is actually from a Christmas set of hers. But I thought it matched, so I used it. Shut off my laminator, push it out of the way. Alright, I cannot cut a straight line if my life depended on it. So I put this through my cutter. Now, you can't, well, you could, if you're sure that your paper here is perfectly straight with the edges, you know, then by all means, you know, line it up that way. But I know that mine is not, so I'm going to line mine up with the edge here and the edge of the paper. Okay? And then if you do that, also you get, you know, you get the border that you need. And so there goes that in. And I just trim everything down to where I need it to be. I leave, like I said, I'd have to say 3/16 maybe. No. Yeah, 3/16 of a border around each of the paper edges with the laminate. You don't want to cut right up next to the laminate, because if you do, you're going to cut too close and your laminate won't work for what we need. Okay, let me get that out of the way. Throw away the scraps, but I'm going to keep this big piece because, like I said, I can use it for something else. Alright. Now that we've got this out of the way, I'm going to bring in my X-Acto knife, and I'll zoom you in a little closer here so you can see. Now, I'm going to go right along this edge, which is why you leave that little bit of gap right there, so that, so that when you cut through this, you don't risk cutting through the entire laminate. Or at least that's how I did it. And I just run my X-Acto really lightly right across here, and only go from the edge of the paper to the edge of the paper. If you go any further, you're going to cut through your laminate all the way, and then you'll cut your top off. And there we go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Fold that down where we had that little crease, and push it down with my bone folder. Now, you see it still pops up for right now. It will loosen up if you keep pushing it down, but because we're going to use a stamp or a snap, it's going to hold down anyway, so no problem. I've got the stuff out for my snap, and here's what I do. The snap thingy I have has directions in it, and you follow the directions for your snap maker. Don't, just because I do it this way doesn't mean that that's the way you're supposed to do it on yours. So definitely follow the instructions. And I just put a piece of thick, real thick fun foam underneath, and I use the little awl that comes in the set to make my hole. Then I fold this down and mark real lightly where the snap needs to go. I don't want to push through because I'll push through both pieces, okay? So I slide my fun foam in and then push through. There we go. Okay? So that's got that started. Now I bring in the pieces for our snaps, and there are a total of 4 pieces. 2 for the top piece, 2 for the bottom piece. Alright? Now here's what you do, or at least what I do with mine. It's called Dritz, D-R-I-T-Z. I got it from Walmart. Very inexpensive. And they do sell colored snaps I've seen online, but I've never seen any at Walmart, okay? And the little piece that comes up, that has the piece that goes up, not the indented or the recessed piece, but the piece that sticks up is the one that goes on top. And your directions will tell you that. And if you've ever snapped a snap, you'll figure it out. And you just put this together like this. It just sits in this little pocket, right, your little hole right there, and you squeeze. You don't have to have a lot of force or anything. It goes pretty easily. The hardest part is trying to line up this center or this bottom hole when, it's on the underside and you can't really see. Alright, I'm going to have to take this over to me because I can't find the hole when it's there. I have to go from underneath here and look down in, so I had to bring it to me. Push that through the hole. Put the little snappy thing on. Now remember, you only have this much space, so you can't go too far down on your snap or you won't have enough space, okay? So get it in the little set, put it in the hole, and then squeeze. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Ta-da! Now I take my 1/4 of an inch Crop-A-Dile, which is the 1/4 of an inch that I used on the paper, and I round off my edges. And very quickly up there, and then I also do down here, like I said, because that point is really sharp. And you could round off your paper if you wanted to, but I wanted to leave it squared. I just don't want it to stab anybody. And so there we go. There's our little pockets. Here's the other one using Imagine That Digi-Stamp paper that I used. Here's some designer paper. Now these ones I printed out on Georgia Pacific paper, and they're heavier than this. This is just regular thin scrapbook paper, okay? I personally like this thickness, but this does work just as well. You just have to be extra careful when you're cutting not to go through this thin paper, all right? I also want to thank Carol for these beautiful flowers and the bow that she gave me that I used on both of them, on the other one. And thank Ida from Created to Create for this great idea. And I will link all the links in the description box for you guys. And here we go. My two little snap pockets. And I was just, and see this one? I'll show you right now. All right. This one I did 1 3/4. This one I did 1 1/2. Big boo-boo on this side. Maybe if I had lowered it down, I wouldn't have had as much trouble. But 1 1/2 inches works great for my snap thingy. And I know that. So why I did 1 3/4. Oh, I know why. I wanted more of the sloss. But that ain't the point when it doesn't work for your machine. Alright, everybody. Remember to practice your CPR. Craft, pray, repeat. Thanks for visiting me today, and happy crafting. Love you all. Bye.